Has every movement become a sentence of pain? That overwhelming feeling in your joints that turns simple tasks like opening a door or going down a step into real daily challenges? I completely understand what you're going through. Like Martha, a 68-year-old retiree from Chicago, who could no longer walk in the park with her dog due to unbearable pain in her knees. The arthrosis had robbed her of her most precious moments of independence. She tried everything. Expensive supplements, painful injections, even those magnetic bracelets that promise miracles but deliver absolutely nothing. I felt completely defeated, she confessed to me. As if my own body was betraying me every new day. After more than 25 years of helping people like you overcome arthritis pain, I discovered something that completely changed the lives of Martha and thousands of other patients. Today I'm going to share a secret that few experts have the courage to reveal. There are 2 common vitamins you're probably consuming every day that may be quietly making your arthritis worse. Yes, you heard correctly. Those same vitamins that promise to strengthen your joints may be doing just the opposite. And the most impressive thing, when Martha eliminated these 2 substances from her routine, she began to notice improvements in just 14 days. Best of all, this approach does not require invasive surgery, expensive medications, or complicated exercises. If you've been suffering from osteoarthritis pain for months or even decades, the next few minutes can completely transform your quality of life. Today I'm going to reveal the 2 vitamins that appear to be beneficial but may be secretly intensifying your joint pain. I'll show you exactly how they affect your joints at the cellular level, why doctors rarely mention these effects, and most importantly, what you can do to reverse the damage and start feeling real relief. I'll also share 3 natural alternatives that have shown impressive results for my patients, including gentle exercises that anyone can do, even with limited mobility. Before we get started, I'd like to know, have you ever suspected that a supplement or vitamin you take could be worsening your condition instead of helping? Type yes in the comments if you've ever had this suspicion, or not yet if this is complete news to you. And if the health of your joints is important to you or someone you love, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Forever Young Tips channel to receive honest, science-based advice, specially designed for senior adults who want to live with less pain and more vitality. Let's start with the first problematic vitamin, and this one will surprise many of you. Too much vitamin D can significantly aggravate the symptoms of osteoarthritis in certain individuals. This seems to contradict everything we hear about this miracle vitamin, doesn't it? All doctors recommend vitamin D supplementation, especially for us, people over 60 years old. But here's the shocking fact that they rarely mention. Excessive doses of vitamin D can accelerate the calcification of cartilage already compromised by osteoarthritis. I know this reality well through the case of Richard, a 74-year-old former military man from Florida. After being diagnosed with low vitamin D levels, his doctor prescribed a daily dose of 10,000 IU, 5 times higher than the standard recommendation. I thought I would finally find relief, Richard shared. But after 3 months, my knee pain was worse than ever. What happened? The science behind it is fascinating. At normal levels, vitamin D helps in the absorption of calcium to strengthen bones. However, in excess, it can cause hypercalcemia, a condition where there is too much calcium in the bloodstream. This extra calcium often deposits exactly where we don't want it, in the already damaged cartilage of the joints affected by osteoarthritis. A recent study from the University of Michigan looked at 4,800 patients with knee osteoarthritis and found that those with extremely high levels of vitamin D in their blood had 37% more progression of cartilaginous deterioration compared to patients who maintained moderate levels. It's like pouring more fuel on a fire that's already burning your joints. So what is the solution? It's certainly not completely abandoning vitamin D, as it actually plays crucial roles in bone health. The answer lies in balance and personalization. If you take vitamin D supplements, the first step is to ask your doctor for a blood test to check your current levels. The ideal level for most adults is between 30 and 50 nanograms per milliliter. Above 80 nmol, you may be entering the risk zone for your joints. Richard reduced his dose to 2,000 IU daily and incorporated more natural sources of vitamin D, such as small exposures to the morning sun and fatty fish like salmon, rather than relying solely on supplements. In just 6 weeks, he noticed a significant reduction in joint pain. I never imagined that something that seemed so healthy could be making my condition worse, he confessed. Do you take vitamin D supplements daily? In what dosage? This can be crucial information to understand part of your joint pain. Now, I need to pause here for a moment and ask something important. When was the last time someone truly understood how osteoarthritis pain affects not only their body, but their entire life? The way she steals those precious moments. the frustration of not being able to do activities that were once simple, such as holding a loved one's hand without feeling pain, or the sadness of saying no to playing with her grandchildren because her joints simply don't allow it today. I know that for many of you, this has been a silent struggle. People see you smiling through the pain, but they don't see those mornings when you have to muster all your strength just to get out of bed. I want you to know that I see you. This community sees you, and your experience matters deeply. Now, in the comments below, I'd like you to share which vitamin or supplement you believed was helping your arthritis, but which may actually be making your condition worse. You can simply copy and paste. I take Nachansias for my arthritis, and I never imagined that it could be making my condition worse. Your comment may be just what someone else needs to read today to feel less alone in their struggle, because sometimes knowing that someone understands your specific pain is the first step to healing. So please take a moment now to share your experience below. I read all the comments and thousands of other people who face the same difficult path as well. Let's now move on to the second vitamin that may be secretly aggravating your osteoarthritis. Too much vitamin A, especially in the form of retinol. This revelation shocked even my most experienced colleagues. Vitamin A is essential for vision, the immune system, and many other bodily functions. However, when consumed at high levels for prolonged periods, it can directly interfere with the metabolism of cartilaginous cells. Let me share the story of Elena, a 71-year-old retired teacher from Boston. Elena has always been careful with her health. She took a high-potency multivitamin complex, used retinol face creams to fight wrinkles, and still regularly consumed cod liver oil, known for its high vitamin A content. I thought I was doing everything right for my health, she told me during our first appointment. But my hands were getting more and more stiff and painful, especially in the joints of the fingers, even though I followed all the recommendations for osteoarthritis to the letter. The problem? Elena was inadvertently overloading her system with vitamin A from multiple sources. Research published in the Journal of Bone and Joint Health has shown that high levels of retinoids, compounds derived from vitamin A, can interfere with the production of collagen and proteoglycans, essential components for maintaining healthy cartilage. In addition, high doses of vitamin A can stimulate certain enzymes that degrade the cartilage matrix, accelerating the deterioration process already underway in osteoarthritis. The most alarming? Many anti-aging creams contain retinol, which is absorbed through the skin and enters the bloodstream. Combined with oral supplements and vitamin A-rich food sources, these products can easily lead to a silent overload that directly affects your joints. When Elena reduced her multiple sources of vitamin A, keeping only a moderate dose in her multivitamin and replacing retinol cream with gentler alternatives, she noticed a gradual improvement in mobility and a significant reduction in morning stiffness of her finger joints in approximately 1 month. How do you know if you're consuming too much vitamin A? Watch out for these signs. Extremely dry skin, chapped lips, joint pain that worsens inexplicably, and in some cases, hair loss. If you use creams with retinol, take supplements with vitamin A or beta-carotene, and regularly consume foods rich in this nutrient such as liver, carrots, sweet potatoes, and dark green leafy vegetables, you may be exceeding safe limits. The daily recommendation for vitamin A for adults over 60 is approximately 700 micrograms for women and 900 micrograms for men. Many multivitamin supplements provide 100% or more of this amount, which means that additional sources can easily lead to overeating. Now, you may be wondering, if these vitamins can be problematic, what really helps fight osteoarthritis? Let's go to the 3 natural alternatives that have shown impressive results for my patients. The first is omega-3s, especially in the form of high-quality fish oil. Unlike the vitamins mentioned earlier, omega-3 fatty acids have proven anti-inflammatory properties that act directly on the inflammation pathways that aggravate osteoarthritis. A meta-analysis of 26 clinical studies showed that patients who regularly consumed between 2,000 and 3,000 mg of omega-3s daily had an average 30% reduction in joint pain after 12 weeks, as well as a significant improvement in morning stiffness. Robert, a 69-year-old retired accountant, had tried virtually every supplement available on the market without lasting success. When she started taking high-quality fish oil, rich in EPA and DHA, she noticed gradual but consistent changes. For the first few weeks I didn't feel anything extraordinary, he told me. But after 2 months I realized that I was climbing stairs without having to lean on the railing. It was a subtle change that transformed my routine. The second alternative is hydrolyzed collagen type 2. Which acts as a raw material for cartilage reconstruction. Contrary to what many people think, it is not just about replenishing lost collagen, but about providing the specific peptides that stimulate chondrocytes, cells responsible for producing new cartilage, to work more efficiently. A study from the University of California followed 147 patients with knee arthrosis for 24 weeks. The group that received 10 grams of hydrolyzed collagen daily showed a 27% increase in new cartilage synthesis as measured by specific biomarkers in the blood compared to the placebo group. Even more impressively, 63% of participants reported a significant reduction in pain when walking. The third alternative, and perhaps the most surprising, is not a supplement but a practice: controlled exposure to cold. I am talking specifically about localized cryotherapy, or even homemade applications of cold compresses in a systematic and regular way. The science behind it is fascinating. Not only does cold reduce immediate inflammation, but when applied regularly, it induces adaptations in joint tissues that increase their resistance to mechanical stress. Patricia, a passionate 76-year-old gardener, suffered from arthrosis in her hands that prevented her from practicing her favorite hobby. She began a simple regimen: soaking her hands in ice water, approximately 50-55 degrees, for 3 minutes, 3 times a day. For the first few weeks it was uncomfortable, she admitted. But gradually my hands adapted, and after 2 months I was able to return to working in the garden for longer and longer periods without severe pain. Research from the University of Toronto has shown that regular exposure to cold can reduce the production of inflammatory cytokines in joints affected by osteoarthritis by up to 40%, in addition to stimulating localized blood circulation when natural heating returns after the application of cold. Now, let's talk about specific dietary changes that can complement these alternatives. The Mediterranean diet has consistently shown benefits for patients with osteoarthritis. Rich in extra virgin olive oil, fish, nuts, colorful vegetables, and low in red meat and refined sugars, this dietary approach directly attacks the inflammatory processes that aggravate cartilaginous degradation. A study published in the Journal of Rheumatology followed 187 patients with knee arthrosis for 16 months. Those who adopted the Mediterranean diet showed an average improvement of 48% in pain and function scores, compared with only 12% in the group that maintained a typical American diet. John, a 72-year-old retired bus driver, was extremely skeptical about the impact of food on his severe hip arthritis. "I believed that my condition was purely mechanical, the result of years of driving," he told me. Reluctantly, he agreed to try the Mediterranean diet for 3 months. "The transformation was gradual but undeniable," he acknowledged. "It's not that the arthrosis has disappeared, but the intensity of the pain has decreased considerably, allowing me to reduce the dose of painkillers for the first time in years." We will also discuss the most suitable exercises for those who suffer from osteoarthritis, especially considering different levels of mobility. Contrary to popular belief, proper movement no longer wears down the affected joints. On the contrary, it strengthens the supporting structures and improves cartilage nutrition. For those with very limited mobility, water exercises are ideal. Water provides natural support, reducing impact on joints while offering gentle resistance to strengthen muscles. Barbara, an 81-year-old patient who could barely walk a block due to advanced arthrosis in her knees, started with 20 minutes of water aerobics 3 times a week. In just 2 months, his ability to walk outside the pool had doubled, and his consumption of painkillers had reduced by 60%. For those with moderate mobility, Tai Chi has shown remarkable results. Its slow, controlled movements improve balance, strengthen stabilizing muscles, and increase range of motion without excessive stress on the joints. A Harvard University study followed 204 patients with knee osteoarthritis for 12 weeks. The group that practiced Tai Chi twice a week showed a 58% reduction in pain and a 65% reduction in joint stiffness. For those with good mobility who want to prevent worsening osteoarthritis, regular walks combined with light strength training are the ideal combination. Michael, a 68-year-old college professor with early osteoarthritis in his knees, adopted a 30-minute walking regimen 5 times a week, supplemented by resistance exercises with elastic bands for his leg muscles 3 times a week. After 6 months, not only had the progression of his arthrosis stagnated, confirmed by imaging tests, but his functional capacity had improved significantly. It is important to note that any exercise program should be personalized and ideally supervised by a qualified professional, at least initially. Never exercise a joint that is inflamed or extraordinarily painful, and always start at a lower intensity than you believe you are capable of, gradually increasing as your tolerance improves. Now, let's summarize everything we've learned and create a simple, actionable action plan that you can start implementing right away. First, review your current supplements and medications. Check the doses of vitamin D and vitamin A, both in supplements and in topical products. If you suspect excess, see your doctor and order tests to check your blood levels. Next, consider incorporating the 3 natural alternatives discussed: high-quality omega-3s, hydrolyzed type 2's collagen, and regular cryotherapy applications. Remember that consistency is more important than intensity in this case. A moderate, faithfully followed regimen will bring more lasting results than sporadic intensive approaches. Gradually modify your diet toward the Mediterranean standard. Start by replacing refined oils with extra virgin olive oil. Increase your consumption of fatty fish like salmon and sardines to twice a week, and incorporate more colorful vegetables into your meals. Progressively reduce the consumption of refined sugars, white flours, and processed meats. As for exercise, start at the appropriate level for your current condition. If your mobility is very limited, look for water aerobics programs for seniors in your community. For moderate levels of mobility, look for Tai Chi classes tailored for seniors. If your mobility is good, start with short walks on flat, soft surfaces, gradually increasing the duration as your tolerance allows. Let's learn about the inspiring journey of Evelyn, a 77-year-old retired piano teacher who completely transformed her experience with arthrosis by following similar principles to the ones we discussed today. When I met Evelyn, she could barely play the piano for more than 15 minutes due to the intense pain in her finger joints. "Music was my life," she shared with tears in her eyes, "and I felt like I was losing my own identity." Our first discovery was that Evelyn was consuming excessive amounts of vitamin A. In addition to her potent multivitamin, she used a face cream with a high concentration of retinol and consumed carrots and sweet potatoes almost daily, creating a perfect storm for her already sensitized joints. After adjusting her vitamin intake, incorporating omega-3 and hydrolyzed collagen supplements, and adopting a simple regimen of soaking her hands in contrasting water, alternating between warm and cold, Evelyn began to notice changes in approximately 6 weeks. The first time I was able to play a complete Beethoven sonata non-stop because of the pain, I cried with joy, she told me during a follow-up appointment. 3 months later, Evelyn had resumed her piano lessons for children in the neighborhood, something she had abandoned due to the limitations of arthrosis. "I'm not cured," she realistically acknowledges, "but I've regained control over my condition and, more importantly, my life." This could be your story too. Osteoarthritis doesn't have to determine what you can and can't do. With the right information, strategic adjustments, and consistency, you can win back precious moments and activities that you thought were permanently stolen by joint pain. Living with arthrosis is not just about managing pain, but about regaining joy in everyday moments. Those simple pleasures like holding the hand of someone you love, grabbing a cup of coffee without grimacing in pain, or playing with your grandchildren. I know you've shown incredible courage just by seeking answers, and I want you to know that you're no longer alone on this journey. Here at Forever Young Tips, our community understands exactly what you're going through, because we've walked that path too. Every week I share simple and effective approaches that have helped thousands of people like you find relief without expensive medications or risky surgeries. If you would like to join our family of wellness, simply click on the sign up button below. By doing so, you'll get smooth, practical guidance straight to your inbox, tips that work for real people with real arthritis pain. No false promises, no miracle cures, just honest and proven approaches that can help you wake up tomorrow feeling a little better than today, because you deserve to live with less pain and more joy. Sign up now, and let's take this journey together, one comfortable step at a time. Remember, the information I shared today about excess vitamins D and A may be controversial, but it's grounded in recent scientific research. Many healthcare professionals have yet to incorporate this knowledge into their practices, so don't be surprised if your doctor isn't familiar with these connections. Always discuss any changes to your supplementation regimen with a qualified healthcare professional, preferably one who is up to date on the complex interactions between nutrients and inflammatory conditions like osteoarthritis. If this video was helpful to you, please share it with someone who might also benefit from this information. The pain of osteoarthritis often isolates us, making us feel like we are the only ones facing these daily challenges. But in fact, millions of people are on this same journey, and together we can find better approaches that provide real and lasting relief. Thank you so much for following me today. I am deeply grateful for your attention and trust. Until our next meeting, remember, your joints may be frayed, but your spirit and your ability to adapt and overcome remain unshaken. Take care of yourself with affection and wisdom.